Who was Pope Francis? Life, legacy, and the symbolism of his death on Easter Monday. Pope Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio, passed away on Easter Monday at the age of 88. His death not only marks the end of an era for the Catholic Church, but also comes with deep symbolic meaning, occurring on one of the holiest days in the Christian calendar. In this video, we'll take a closer look at who Pope Francis was, his journey to becoming the leader of over 1 billion Catholics, and the legacy he leaves behind. The humble beginnings. Pope Francis was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, on December 17, 1936. He was the son of Italian immigrants and grew up in a working-class neighborhood. As a young man, Bergoglio studied chemistry and worked briefly as a chemical technician before choosing a spiritual path. He entered the Jesuit order in 1958, dedicating his life to religious service, humility, and simplicity. Unlike many church leaders of his time, Bergoglio lived modestly. He chose to live in a small apartment, cooked his own meals, and frequently took public transportation. These early choices would define his style of leadership later on, becoming the first Jesuit pope. On March 13, 2013, following the resignation of Pope Benedict XVI, Bergoglio was elected as the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. He took the name Francis after Saint Francis of Assisi, a symbol of poverty and humility. This choice spoke volumes. He was the first Jesuit pope, the first pope from the Americas, and the first non-European pope in over 200 years. His election was a turning point for the Church. Many saw him as a reformer, someone who could bring the Church closer to the people. And indeed, his papacy was marked by outreach, compassion, and a focus on the marginalized. A voice for the poor and the planet. Pope Francis made social justice a cornerstone of his mission. He emphasized the importance of caring for the poor, speaking out against economic inequality and environmental degradation. His 2015 encyclical, Laudato Si', called for urgent global action on climate change and was praised by scientists and environmentalists worldwide. He frequently visited impoverished communities, refugee camps, and war-torn areas. In these visits, he often broke protocol, embracing the sick and washing the feet of prisoners, echoing the humility of Christ. Controversies and challenges. While beloved by many, Pope Francis was also a polarizing figure. His more progressive views on topics like homosexuality, divorce, and interfaith dialogue sparked criticism from conservative factions within the Church. He once said, "Who am I to judge?" in response to a question about gay priests, an answer that shook traditional doctrine and was hailed as groundbreaking by many around the world. Yet he also maintained the Church's official stance on several controversial issues, walking a delicate line between tradition and change. He also faced internal resistance to his reforms, especially regarding financial transparency and the handling of sexual abuse cases. While he took steps to address abuse scandals, critics argued that more aggressive actions were needed. The symbolism of Easter Monday. Easter Monday, the day after the celebration of Christ's resurrection, holds deep meaning for Christians. It's a day of renewal, of hope rising from despair. The fact that Pope Francis died on this particular day adds a powerful symbolic layer to his passing. Some theologians suggest that dying on Easter Monday can be seen as a final message, a transition not just from life to death, but from earthly service to eternal peace. For a pope known for his emphasis on resurrection, mercy, and new beginnings, this timing seems profoundly appropriate. Global reactions. As news of his death spread, tributes poured in from leaders around the world. Presidents, prime ministers, religious leaders, and millions of ordinary people expressed their condolences. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called him a global moral compass. US President Joe Biden, himself a Catholic, said that Pope Francis had restored faith in the Church by reminding us that compassion and humility are its foundation. In the Vatican, thousands gathered in St. Peter's Square to mourn and pray. Candles, flowers, and handwritten notes covered the gates. Churches across the globe held special masses in his honor. What happens next? With Pope Francis gone, the Catholic Church will now begin the process of choosing a new pope. The College of Cardinals will gather in a conclave at the Vatican, a sacred and secretive election steeped in centuries-old tradition. Many wonder who will succeed him, and whether the next pope will continue the reforms Francis started or move the Church in a new direction. Legacy of a revolutionary pope, Pope Francis, leaves behind a complex and impactful legacy. He was a spiritual leader who embraced the poor, defended the environment, challenged political powers, and tried to modernize the Church without abandoning its roots. He was not without flaws, and his critics were vocal, but even they couldn't deny his influence. He made people care about the Church again, especially those who had long felt forgotten or unwelcome. In the end, Pope Francis may be remembered not only as a religious figure, but as a global symbol of compassion, simplicity, and courage. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to MindGrid for more deep dives into global figures, events, and ideas that shape our world.